All right. Good morning, everybody. So, I've got something super awesome I want to share with you guys today. Hello, hello. This is pretty cool. I don't think this is something that you guys have seen before, and it's super, super cool.
Right. Good morning, everybody.
So, most people they go and they literally just set up their group, which means they go, whatever, they create a name, they click the settings in Facebook, and they think they're ready to go. They've got a name, they've got a group cover, and they start adding members, and they think they're ready to go. But there's actually a process that you need to go through to define and establish your community properly. So I want to go through that with you guys today. Hey Joe, what's up? So I'm going to show you guys how to properly define and establish your Facebook group. What most people do is they just go and literally, go into their Facebook settings, create the group, add the name, start inviting people. And there's actually some key things that you want to do before you even set the community up like that. So I'm going to go through those for you guys today real quick. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you this this document here when I'm done, so that way you have that and you can go through these specific questions, because if you don't answer these and define these before you get your community off the ground, then you're not going to be able to measure if you've been successful. So when you go to set up your Facebook group, before you go in and click the settings, start adding people and naming your group, the very first thing that you need to do is you need to decide on what's the actual impact and mission of your group. Who do you want to serve? Who do you want to help? What are you going to accomplish? What impact is your community going to make? And I get it. We're all in this. We want to use our communities to help our business. So obviously, your actual impact on the world doesn't need to be something that's nonprofit. If you want to go ahead and help big business owners earn six figures, or help them with copywriting, or whatever it is that you want to do, decide what your mission is specifically for your group, because everything else in your group is going to be based on these principles. So decide. Why are you building your community? What do you want to accomplish with it? And what impact is it going to have? And then from there, once you've actually decided on what those things are, you can actually go ahead and say, what are the goals that you want to achieve with your community? Are you helping people to get to six figures faster? Are you helping them, with funnel design that converts? Whatever it is that your goals are for your Facebook group, you have to go ahead and identify those, because if you know what your goals are and how they're going to support your group, then you know what specific things you can identify, what specific things you're going to do in your group to actually help people achieve those. So you set up those goals. From there, you're going to set up what your actual objectives are for your group. So how are you going to achieve the goals? Are you doing this with daily posts or lives? What are the measurable things that you're doing? I mean, we all know you have to have social proof in your group, and show people that you can actually help them in a specific, measurable way, so that you can get more clients and customers. So you have to know what your goals are, what those objectives are for your group, so you can get the social proof you need, because that's how you get more people in. So your objectives have to be specific, measurable, attainable, and related specifically to your goal. And then, how do you evaluate if you're successful or not? Is that a certain number of members in your group that were able to successfully achieve the goal? You have to define this. So in order to define it, what we do is we set up specific measurements, our KPIs on whether or not you're successful with your goals. And that can be super, super simple. It can be the amount of income your customers are achieving, the conversions they're getting, whatever quantifiable measure you can determine to show that you're actually successful with the objectives that you had for your group. So let's just say, let's use it. I'm getting in the weeds here because I'm not making this simple enough for you guys. Let's just say, all these people are out there saying that they can help group owners get more people into their group, okay? So we'll go back. If you were a person who set up your group specifically, just to show others how to get more people in, your community mission would be how to help group owners, increase their numbers and get as many members in as possible. The community goals might be, teaching a certain number of people how to do that so they can turn those members into income for their community. What are your objectives? You can do simple objectives like the number of your members, commenting on posts, number of views, achieving whatever measures you set, and doing it simply like that. So how do you measure if you're successful? Well, if you were a group owner who's trying to teach how to get new members in there, then the way that you would measure you're successful is, are those students that you're teaching, are they getting new members in? Are they getting in 10 a day, 20 a day, 30 a day? How many new people are they getting in based on the lessons that you've taught them? Then you know that you were successful in what you've taught them. So you really have to measure to know if what you're teaching is actually coming across to your students, and if you have to teach it a different way. And then, the other core part is the values of your community. If you just go ahead and set up your Facebook group, whether, Cami, if say you're an author and you set up a Facebook group because you have several different books and you don't set up what the values are for your community, then how can you expect people to behave a certain way or to know, what the vibe and the culture of the community is unless you set that up? So you have to set up, the values and the standards for your community before you even start inviting members in and inviting them to participate. You guys are the group owners, you're the leader. So, and that's why I'm going to give you the specific PDF. You're going to write what your values are. What do you expect, the people in your Facebook group, how do you expect them to behave? What sort of engagement and interaction do you expect from your community? And what sort of values do you want to be known for? We all know there's some pretty classy groups out there, and we know there's also some pretty trashy groups. So what things are your values? Even for instance, let's just say in the ClickFunnels community, in that one, we don't allow any, profanity in that community because there's a lot of kids that are under 18. So, what are some of your values? Pardon me, I can't even speak. I think I need some water. So make sure you set up your values. And honestly, the way this chart is set up, the values are last. But I would actually do mission, then I would do values before you come back to what are your goals and what do you want people to achieve, because you really can't be thinking about your goals and your objectives for your Facebook group unless you know what your values are. So these are really the key components. If you haven't set up your group yet, what I would ask you to do is go ahead, and I'll give you guys this PDF and go through, what's your mission, what are your goals, what are your values, what are your objectives, how are you going to measure those in your group, and fill this out if you haven't started your group yet. If you already have, take a sec, sometime this week and fill this out, and I guarantee you it's going to help you significantly in how you interact with your members, and also how you know what new members to invite. If you haven't identified what your values are for your community, how do you even know what people you specifically want in your community? When you know what the values are, the mission and the goals, then you can easily identify who are the people that I want to invite into my community, who are the people that I want to be ambassadors for my community. Are they in line or not? And I mean, this is super, super important too, because basically what's going to happen is your communities, you're going to have people starting to request to become members in your groups. And if you haven't identified what your values are, then how do you know whether to accept people or decline people when they're asking to join your community? Sometimes you have to know right off the bat whether or not someone's a good fit. And if you've got, these simple values defined, then it's going to be very easy for you to say yay or nay on who you want in the community. And, something as simple as this, defining your values and then knowing who to accept or decline, is key, because what's going to happen is if you start accepting people into your community that have values that are in line with, what you want to achieve in there, then Facebook is going to start serving you more and more people that align with those values. So basically, you start accepting people into your community whose values align with you and declining those who don't. Well, then your group is going to start getting suggested to others who have values that are in line with your communities. So I really, really urge you guys to fill out this form when I give it to you, so you can define, what those values are, what your mission is, and what your goals are. And like I said, I get it. We all want to earn an income. This isn't about having to do a nonprofit group or anything like that. It's just, you have a mission. Even if your mission is to help your customers make money, or like I was talking about Cami, if your mission is to help your readers to just step away from the world and to relax and to step into a good book, you still have a mission. You still have goals. What is it that someone's going to accomplish in your community, and how are they going to accomplish it? Because once you've established what those goals are and what those objectives are, then it also makes it super, super easy for you to know what to post in your group. I see a ton of people who don't know what to post in their group and how to get their community engaged. And you can't really get your community engaged easily if you don't know what your goals and objectives are. So if you fill out this simple form and define what these things are, I guarantee it's going to make it a lot easier for you to know specifically what to post in your group, and to really keep your eye on what you're trying to achieve. And then the cool thing too is when you're consistent that way, then you can start measuring. So this measurement of, are you successful? As a group owner, it's super, super simple. You can go into the app on your phone and look at group insights for your Facebook group, or you can go on your laptop or desktop. It'll say group insights, and you'll be able to see how many new members you're getting per day, how many views you're getting on posts, how many people are posting, how many comments there are. And you can really just start with those set, KPIs for your measurement of, is your content successful, and are you, communicating properly with those people that you want to help? It's super simple. Facebook has set that up for you perfectly. Let me show you here quick. Actually, I'll show you in the ClickFunnels group what those insights look like, because it's super, super cool to be able to see that your work that you're doing as a group owner is actually resonating, with the people that you want to serve. So I'm just going to show you how cool this is, because you don't even have to really identify the KPIs yourself. Besides, if you're trying to get them to get conversions for their funnel, or if you're trying to help people make, more income, things like that, obviously it's going to be a KPI. So when you're in your group, you're going to go to Group Insights here on the left, and it's going to tell you all about what's going on in your group. So you'll be able to see here the people that are contributing. It's going to tell you your top contributors. So when you click on that, it tells you your top contributors, how frequently they're posting. These are their posts. This tells you how often they're commenting. So we know that all these gentlemen, were the top contributors in the past 28 days. This is really, really good, because like we were talking about with your member life cycle before, this tells you here that these are your super members, that they're really engaging all the time, and they're at that point, in their life cycle where they're really giving a lot of value to the community. So that's super helpful. All this stuff you can download and you can keep. Learning units. This tells you, when people are completing the units that you've put in the group. That can be helpful if you actually use that. All right, so here we go. This is total members. So you basically want to be tracking how frequently and how many new members you're getting. So this is super cool. This tells you in the past 28 days that there have been, 3,300 new members, 3,000 decline, 3 blocked. So this is super, super cool because it shows you, all your new members that you're getting, and you can track that over time. That's super awesome. And then this was the other thing that I mentioned, post, comments, and reactions. So we can see the posts, which is really cool. And if you look at this, because of the dates, you can see like what days of the week there are the most posts. I'd guarantee ones like this are days that are events or Fridays, stuff like that. Then you can see comments, reactions, and then this will kind of give you like a smattering of everything together, which is really, really cool. So maybe actually I'll talk about this specifically tomorrow. We'll go into KPIs for groups a little bit more so I can dig deeper on this for you guys and let you and show you guys a little bit more about how you can find this useful, because you really want to be tracking, the KPIs in your group. You want to know each month, are the number of posts in my group increasing? What days of the week do I have the most posts? Where are we at for comments and reactions? This is all, super, super important data that you want to track, and you can download it super easy. And you also want to know how many new members you're getting in. Like in the ClickFunnels group, there's about 1,000 new members a week. You want to know how many new members a week you're getting and have that constantly be increasing. And you want to get data on, the most popular times a day and days of the week in your group, because as you start to collect that data, then you're going to know, okay, look, let's just say here in the ClickFunnels group, it says 11 a.m. To like 3 p.m. is one of the most popular times in the ClickFunnels group where people post, there's comments and reactions. So if you get this data for your group, then what you're going to say is, okay, now I know that this is the time that I want to be doing lives in my group. This is the time that I want to be scheduling posts in my group, and you can get those scheduled out in advance. So if you look at it, and this will actually tell you the different days of the week too, which is really cool. So we know on Monday, you'll want to do, if you're doing a live on Monday, that you'll want to do it during that window. And you can check other days of the week, which is super important because then, oftentimes you're going to get a lull on Saturday or Sunday. So go in, check out your popular times. On Thursday, it's earlier in the day. In this specific group, in the ClickFunnels group, really things start ramping up around 7, 8 o'clock in the morning. So that's when if you were the group owner, you'd know that this is the time when you want to schedule your posts. You want to do your lives around, 10, 11 o'clock. This data is super important for you. And then, this is stuff that you're going to be tracking. But also, as the group owner, you're going to want to bring on, moderators, and eventually a group manager. So this is the way to start tracking your data and to see, in what ways your group is successful. And then when you start bringing on team members, you can see, whether your team members are successful too. I'll go into it a little bit more tomorrow, and I'll talk about this, but it actually, your group will break down your team members, how they're participating, and what they're doing to help contribute to your group and to keep your group propelling forward. So this is super important. And then you can also look at this stuff historically as well. You can look at the last 60 days. You can look at the last 6 months. So all this stuff is really key to tracking whether you're successful. Hey, Alan. So you missed the beginning here. I'm going to do a wrap up real quick, and I'll go over what we talked about. So basically, we talked about establishing and defining your group from the start. So basically what happens is, like, most people, they go in and they put a cover for their Facebook group, they've got a name, they're customizing their URL, but they never sat down and established, what's the mission of my group? What are the goals? What are my objectives? Who do I want to serve? Am I helping people with their funnels? Am I trying to help them increase their income? Am I doing, copywriting that sells? Whatever it is that I want to accomplish to serve my people, I have to define, what those goals are. and how, what the objectives associated with those goals are, and how I'm going to measure if I'm successful. Is it that I'm getting people to, 6 figures or 10K a month? What is it that I'm helping them with? And how to measure that, so that way you can measure whether you're successful in helping your people, and then also use that as social proof to help get new people into your community and show that your methods are working. But one of the most important things that we talked about here was that you have to define the values for your community. You have to define, what kind of behavior you expect in your community, how people behave, what your group is known for. And, the reason I said, defining your values for your community right from the start, why that's so important is because that helps you. You basically know, based on your values, what people to accept into your group and what people to decline. And then, as you probably know, once you start accepting people that are in line with your values and getting that kind of behavior in there, you also have a good effect on the Facebook algorithm, because when you accept people that are in line with your values, it's going to start serving you more people like that, and your group is going to be suggested to people that meet those requirements. And as you're declining those people who aren't a good fit, then less of those people are going to get served to you. So if anyone is running a community and they haven't done this, you're doing a disservice to yourself. So I highly urge you to take this PDF. I'm going to give it to you guys, and you can fill it out. If you already have a group, go ahead and do that as soon as possible. If you don't have a group, then it's the perfect time to get started, because you really got to do your values. And even though this is last on my chart here, values is really one of the first things you have to do. You have to set up your mission, your values, and your goals. That's the most important thing you can do, because once you've done that, then everything else will lay itself out, and how you're going to serve your community, and then how you're going to measure your success with your community and helping them achieve their goals. All right, so I'm going to hop off because it's already been 30 minutes and I didn't realize it had been that long. I'll hop off, and I'm going to give you guys the link for this PDF, so you can basically set these things up and make sure that the foundation for your group is set up properly. So you've got the mission, you've got your goals, you've got your objectives, how you're measuring that. Like I said, with the group insights, you can use the KPIs that are already right in Facebook for group insights. It's reactions, comments, posts, new members. But I'd also recommend that you use a measurement that's directly related to your goal of how you're helping people and what you're having them achieve as well. And then, of course, your values. And like I said, if you get all those people in there that are in line with your values, then Facebook is only going to keep serving you more and more of those people. So you got to do that right from the beginning. And then if you have those values defined, it's super, super important as well, because when you get moderators for your community, you have to be able to give them standards so that they know, how, on what premise to accept people and decline people into your community. All right. I hope this helped. I will be back again tomorrow. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you guys this PDF as soon as I hop off, and I'll be back again tomorrow so that we can dig a little bit deeper into all these group insights that I was telling you about, that our Facebook groups offer, and what you can do with these insights to help yourself. All right. I hope you guys have a great day, and I'll talk to you there.